ComicsGate has really been a blight on indie comics, and it's really sad to watch 700 backers go in on something like this and cause a massive problem here. Is this the only campaign of this, or does he last chance 7 days? Is there more? Is there another one? And in addition to this, did more people get bilked by this this Dark Harvest here? Let's see, where there's so many campaigns. So many campaigns. It's like one campaign. There's the original Dark Harvest. Oh, it was. Okay. So, oh my gosh, 4,000 backers. This is really, really sad because when you get into something like this, much like when I covered yesterday about the guy who is just not delivering his book, you've got 4,000 or 5,000 people right here who are now burned by comics and crowdfunding comics and the like. And it sucks for the creators that actually deliver and that actually produce real comics, produce real product, because when people like this get screwed on this kind of a level, they don't come back and they get burnt out. And I'm here to provide an alternative right now, guys, because we have been trying to build a movement based on reading first, about books first. And that's what's been going on over here for a long, long time. And it's tough. You got to overcome, of course, this kind of nonsense going on, because when you see this kind of thing, which we're going to get into just how crazy this is in just a moment, like I said, these 5,000 people just tune out. They don't go find other creators at that point. They just say, I'm done with all of this, and go away. So we have to build back a better sort of indie comics movement at this point, and that's what we've been doing over the last few years. So I have been just coming out with books on the regular. If you've never been to my web store, you can see that you can get my books all the time, and that's part of the important thing here. It's not like some fake collectible thing, but I come from novels, and in the novel world, people buy books to read them. I know, shocking. It's not something that happens in comics quite a bit. Even in the mainstream comic book industry, my retailers, friends who run multiple stores, tell me they think that about only 30% of people actually read the comics. Most of them just bag and board them or slab them, some sort of like collector's sort of thing or speculation sort of thing. And it's ridiculous. I mean, books are meant for reading. That's the entire intention. So that's what we have to like refocus our movement around, is refocusing it for reading. So that's why I have my comics available so you guys can read them all the time. And I've got a web store in the description below. I've got them on digital to make it easy for you because, again, some of these guys just did no digital just so that they could ramp up and make the numbers on their campaign look a lot bigger. But I like to just I got a lot of European fans. I got some folk in the Philippines and Singapore. Hi, guys. And I know that you guys like to read, and it's really, really expensive to ship over there, so this is a great way to do so. So we try to do that. So check out my web store. Grab some books, guys. We got so much. We got a little something for everybody. I always recommend people start with Overmind. I think there's a great spot to be for my comics. And I also want you to get on this Substack right here. So I just opened this, and I'm just posting a page of Flying Sparks per day. Now, Flying Sparks is my original book from like 2017. And so it's kind of older. So I'm like, I'm trying to get on that like webtoon tapas kind of thing where people can just read it, right? And so the Substack's a great spot because I can always maintain finding you. And I did something a little special. I posted this is for paid subscribers, a commentary issue where I just went through and showed just the depth of everything that I did when creating this issue, because there's a lot of depth to the dialogue. There's a lot of depth to everything I did. There's purposes behind all of this stuff, which builds into Flying Sparks, which is 15 issues long at this point. I'm probably going to come back to it because I miss these characters so much. And that's what it is. That's what it's about, building characters, building worlds. And that's what we're trying to do over here. So get in on this. Sign up for the Substack in the description below. Check out some books, guys. Support our channel. And thank you, as we're making a difference in indie comics for real. Like I said, I know you're burnt out. I understand it. But everything that Ethan Van Sciver promised, your boy Zach promised back in the day, if you guys kind of moved over to like where real reading's at, this is everything that we should have been, and that's what we're going to build. We're going to do something great. Also have a great community on Discord. Of course, we talk comics and the like. Appreciate everybody who's in there. We've got more than 1,000 people now. We're building so good, and I'm really optimistic for the future. But like I said, this kind of thing makes it a lot harder. You got 5,000 people who just backed this book going, okay, this sounds really cool. We got this guy from DC Comics, and he's going to come out with a new book. It's 2023, a banner year. What year is it now? It's 2025. This book's not out yet. And when people got it, they got a little less than they expected. So he called it a 20-page preview book of another book. So not only is this just a book, it's just the first few pages of the other campaign that he's selling that's been open for several years, which has like $800,000 and I think over 10,000 backers Oh my gosh, wow. So this is people getting screwed on this level pretty badly. Now, when they got this book, which is, again, just ridiculous, it only ended up having 10 pages of story content. So these guys here on BTM Reviews reviewed it, and they're like, what the heck? I don't even know what's going on here. It doesn't make sense. It's terrible at that, and it's just like, and it's only 10 pages of comic. Like the rest of it's like bonus pinups and things like that. 10 pages for $35 at a minimum, because if you're buying the more exclusive variant covers, it costs more than that. This is treating customers as pay pigs. This is treating people like they're stupid and like they're just going to just go in on everything. And that's a major, major problem with the comic book industry. And this really does come from the Marvel and DC Comics mentality of things. They have all these retailer incentives where it's 1 in 100 copies of you have to order 100 copies to get this copy of Absolute Batman, which is the same book, but this cover just has different colors on it. It's like, it's really ridiculous that people go in on that, and so many people get screwed. Usually the speculator market. I mean, I saw one where I was in a comic shop probably 5-6 years ago where I bought one issue because I'm like, okay, it's $4.99, and I know this is a rare variant sort of thing, and they just had it there. They had like one copy, and I bought it. I went home, I looked on eBay, it was $150, and I just offloaded it right away. Of course, now, because that was just rampant speculation right there, that book is going back for $4 again, so it's ridiculous. And so that's kind of like what the comic industry is about. It's a big like pump and dump scheme. It's garbage, and that continues on into like the indie mentality here, where these guys just think they're going to continue the same trends that Marvel and DC do, and that's exactly why it's all failing and all falling apart at this point. So all of these campaigns on these levels, on these big guys levels, are falling apart. The trends are very, very down. People are not making money around these groups anymore, and at least the days of this are kind of over. But this is still really, really sad, because again, you get to this point and you see like the customer criticism of this. 10 pages of this cost 50-page book plus shipping and a 3-year wait. Just 10 pages. Nope. And now he attacks anyone that calls him out on his failure, knowing that the next book will be the same if he ever prints anything. I told you he was scamming you, and he just proved it. Yikes. And of course, this is one right here, that review that's just savaging it, saying that the storyline isn't there, that he's not even a heroic character or anything like that. And of course, then he goes on and cries about criticism here. This is what they do. It's not valid criticism. Yeah, it is valid criticism. If you're giving a 35-page minimum or dollar minimum, and you're only providing 10 pages, your customer's saying, "Hey, that's not enough content for that," is absolutely valid criticism, and you should take that into example. I always make my books 66 pages for that same price. It does, of course, there's art costs, there's all that. So there is a thing that like you have to break even on some level, and that's about what I found that I could break even at and actually do things on this and actually support the artists that are in this movement, because we're funding a lot of art at this point. We've got 9 graphic novels in development. And so we try to do that, and that's kind of like our minimum where we go at 66 pages of story. And I think that's about right, because when it's at $25, that pays for the cover and all that. And as you see, I do $12 for the digital. And the reason I did that is because at the time when I started doing this, 66 pages is about 3 issues worth of content. If you go on Amazon and you buy a digital version of a Marvel or DC comic, they were $3.99. They're now $4.99, and they've increased their prices. So at this point, like what I'm providing to you story-wise is on the digital level less than what you would pay for a Marvel and DC comic. That's great value right there. This is incredible value. This is real story, real characters that are really progressing, that I'm doing a lot with the worlds, because there's not just like, one book every 3 years. We're trying to get a book a year out at least on each character. And so you actually feel like you're like progressing and building this world that you can actually remember the prior book, but when the next one comes out, imagine that. And so that's what we're doing, and that's the pricing point on that. Now, the $25 covers, of course, color printing costs and all that, and that's why we do it at that level on the regular printing version. But this is what we do on digital. Maybe I should raise my prices at this point, because Marvel and DC have, and of course, art costs are going up. Everything's going up because inflation the last few years. It is what it is. But yes, for now, we're just keeping it the same because of that. Now, 10 pages, $35, like I said, it's insulting to the readership, and it's insulting just to the intelligence that people are backing. The whole deal is very, very obvious here, is that these folk are attempting to just grift off of a certain situation. So let's look up Dark Harvest 10 pages and see what people are talking about. Ironically, there appears to be an inverse correlation between his weight and the slenderness of his books. Oof. The Dark Harvest book clocked in an underwhelming 10 pages of story, is what they say right here. This is really funny. From February 16th, this is several months ago, 4-page preview of Dark Harvest. What do I think? I think that's 40% of the book you just posted on X. Oops. That's pretty crazy. And so there's some more here. Maybe the timings of fulfillment. How much was needed to print? This is the campaign that was different yesterday. He just ran a second chance campaign in February this year, 5 months after it was supposed to be in backer hands. It raised $55K in 7 days. Then he closed it, sent the books to the printer on this level. And this seems to be what's happening with his books here. So he raises this back in 2023. Again, 10 pages of story. There's no excuse to have that take 3 years to come out. That's insane. This started in 2022 was when the campaign actually began. And running a second chance campaign, the reason this happens right before this all happens is he needs the money to print the books on the prior campaign. So what's happening now is, and this is what I'm seeing on this scheme level, he's taking this to fund the printing of this so that he can get those books out. And so it's one campaign to pay for the last, and that's the absurdity of what's going on here. Now, there's a company called Unbound Publishing that was using this exact same thing, opening up multiple campaigns to pay for the less, and they just went out of business. They just went bankrupt. You can only keep up this scheme for so long, especially when the audience is declining like it is, because you need it to keep growing. Otherwise, you can't really pay for the last one. Otherwise, you're going to eventually run out of money here. And I see this happening across ComicsGate. That's exactly why there was a book that failed even to come out. Another one, this Death Raider or whatnot that we covered yesterday on the channel. Ugly stuff right here. So fans are just kind of done with this. And we are, like I said, we have to build something better. We have to build a bigger movement, a newer thing. That is all about reading. And I'm glad you're here, guys. Get in on my web store. Grab some books, guys. Just check things out. Start reading today. This is where it's at. This is where all the fun's at. Overmind sold more than 2,000 copies at this point. Flying Sparks has sold more than 5,000 copies. We are moving the needle here through our web store. And I appreciate you guys for coming in. And, of course, it's a lot of fun. Great movement here. And also get in on the Substack because you can just start reading for free. I want to cultivate you as readers first. I don't care about, getting $35 or whatever just to squeeze out of people. I care about getting readers. Having long-term readers is what's way, way more important. That's why we're developing story. We're developing characters first. That's why I'm doing commentary on the issues. Really appreciate you being here. This is where it's at. Everything these guys promised, we are delivering, and we're just running circles around them. And they're scared, by the way. Yeah, they're doing live streams, flipping out about me. It's really, really funny at this point, just watching how, of course, this message resonates because it's true. Readers should matter first. You shouldn't be treated as pay pigs. You should be treated as real people. And that's what Marvel and DC failed to do, and that's what ComicsGate's failing to do now. Please hit the like and subscribe button. Leave a comment down below. Get in on this on the description below. Thanks for being here. We'll be back.